Oh, apologies. I just got to know that somehow you couldn't hear me. Yes, interesting. Today is day three, and we are launching out on a bigger and better platform. Today, we're going to be talking about the one secret that keeps marriages together. You note that day one, we started with the difference between the husband and the husband. And it's amazing how I got a lot of feedback and people were like, which one is husband? Okay, the husband, just typifies when the only thing the guy does in the home, he serves as a financial provider. And we delved into the very 7 dimensions, okay, of the husband, in redefined masculinity. Day 2, we decided to talk about what if she is the one that is the breadwinner. Okay, I was trying to whip around. First is the concept around hypogamy and hypergamy and hypogamy, and we delved down into how the women became biologically, constrained to the point where the children were more committed to them. How they build on that affinity. And then we decided to come up with a couple of remedies. Today, we are going to be talking about that thing, this one secret that keeps marriages together. So let's start with a question that it's as old as marriage itself. See, I asked myself, what's that one thing that keeps a marriage strong, even though the most challenging times occur? How are people able to, follow through things? People might say love. I've had people say communication. Some people say trust. While all those are important, I believe the answer goes deeper. And sometimes people tell me love can just be there, beyond emotions. Okay, so today we're going to be delving deeper, in sharing that one secret that holds marriages together, irrespective of the times that we're in. Okay, something that transcends emotions and situations. The secret, when understood and applied, can transform any relationship, even those going through the toughest challenges. And I've had my own bitter share and sweet and bitter share. Let me call it sweet and bitter share, where it was clear that love was not enough, emotions were not enough, trust significantly is not even enough. What if you betrayed the trust of your partner? And so, what do you think is that one thing? If you are online, you just want to drop in the comment. What do you think is that one thing that holds marriages together through thick and thin? Let's see if you all are here. Somebody says we are here again, ready to learn. Someone says I can't wait. But yes, you could drop in the comments what your thoughts are as to that one thing that keeps marriages together. Anyway, I begin to move ahead in the discourse of today as to saying that, and I'm going to be sharing a personal story about myself, at the verge of a breakdown in my marriage, when all signs of everything tending to that marriage had broken down. Yes, at some point there was some levels of distrust, financial instability, and lack of communication. But beyond that, what was missing, as the years rolled back, was that I started to experience cracks. And these cracks led to arguments. These arguments built up to resentment. And then we somewhat started to drift apart. So, it's so funny that it's 20 years gone now. And the one question I ask myself is, what could it have been? So I remember before getting married, part of the things I already said was, having been raised by single parents, was that I held it strong to not leave a broken home, irrespective of whatever and however I wanted to do it. I proposed within myself that I was going to weather through except the woman works away. Okay, and so I at some point I resolved, within myself to get things going. So there's that secret, because I soon realized that beyond love, beyond the trust, beyond the emotions, there's one thing, and that one secret that keeps marriages, that is able to hold marriages together. And drum rolls, that secret is commitment. It would be nice to have somebody drop that, commitment. Commitment is that one secret, okay, that holds marriages true. Commitment. The secret is commitment, because love is not enough to keep a marriage strong. And there are a lot of deeper things, but much more than that is commitment. Yes, I see people are dropping the comments. Commitment, yes, commitment. Another one says commitment. Someone says this is getting interesting. Yes, another person says come on, go. Anyway, just so that we keep this running, because remember, there's a time frame for all that we do. I will just continue with this discourse to just say, beyond all of that, it's commitment. So when you go back, even if you didn't listen to this program, one key secret that keeps marriages today against all odds, irrespective of the dynamic times, will be commitment. And commitment isn't just a feeling or a promise. For me, I see commitment as a decision. Remember, I told you that I'd resolved and proposed within myself that, notwithstanding what I was going to be facing, that I decided to stay in the relationship no matter what comes my way. So whether it was me or it was my spouse, the thing that mattered was that I had to wake up every morning and every day, investing in that project. So even when the feelings weren't always there, even when tough times, linger, and even when things seemed like they were falling apart, there was just that resolution that, look, just show up. And it's that same spirit that you probably also used to run a business. Like, look, can I just show up? So the bills need to be paid. Sure. Can we not have customers walking? But show up now. Open the door. So commitment says, I am here to stay. Okay, notwithstanding. It says, I will keep fighting. That's part of one of the things that I think, irrespective of my lack of understanding of the institution called marriage, but it was that, irrespective of the fact that it was hard, it's that glue that holds together this love, this feeling, this distance, whatever chaos you find yourself, commitment and steadfastness. So, as we run on this journey, I've asked myself, I said, look, commitment seems to be, and these are my perspectives as to what this is, right? And I hope that you could take a glean from this. And if we can get your insights also as we go on this journey, I will appreciate that we're able to take this discourse further. So when I was talking, I said, look, commitment is the foundation. In fact, it's the secret juice that holds marriages today. And the reason why I said that is that feelings fade, commitment lasts. Love is a wonderful thing, and for those that experience it all through their relationship, I said, well done. But let's be real, sometimes these feelings fade, okay? There are days when you may not feel you are in love. There are days when your hormones take over, particularly women that have undulating hormones, okay? But men, when they start to get even to andropause, their mood swings also begins to tip in. So it's not about how you feel on a particular day. It's about the vows, commitment that you've made and a decision, that you have taken to stand by them. So commitment is foundational. It goes beyond just feelings. Another reason why commitment is key is that commitment helps you to build resilience. And when I say resilience, marriages, even in these times, particularly with the economic situation, with the distraction level. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about social media, the phone of your marriage. But you find out that there's a lot that is grappling for or begging for attention on the sides of both parties, either the man or the woman. And so, once you are committed, you are able to build the resilience to say, okay, irrespective of the challenges that come your way, whether financial, whether parenting conflicts, okay, whether loss, or even as you drift away from each other, or you are beginning to try to understand each other, when you are truly committed to a cause, and that's one of the things that underpins, having to get into this thing called marriage, right? We said, look, the partners must resolve to have a goal, a purpose in mind. Okay, so once you're able to stay committed, you find a way to overcome these, challenges. You're able to adapt, adjust, build or rebuild, reposition, rejuvenate, reinvent yourselves per time. Commitment gives you the resilience to keep going, even when things or others might want to give up. Because when you go around, the feelings may fade. It's commitment that lasts. Now, another thing that makes commitment critical and serves as a foundational basis is that once there's commitment, there's security. One of the things I realized is that in this whole feeling fading, we find out that commitment lasts. I see that in marriages, knowing that your spouse is committed to you, no matter what, brings a sense of security. So that, look, we are going to slug it out. It allows you to also be vulnerable, okay, to share your fears and insecurities. Now, when the parties are not aligned as to a common purpose and a common goal, a commitment to their vows, then it starts to dwindle. They begin to suspect each other, okay, and they probably will not be able to grow together because one party feels that, hey, look, what if A decides to leave? So I visited Accra a few years ago, and there was something that one of my hosts said. I was referring to some things as my own, and she was like, "How am I able to nurture a relationship or have a relationship with my spouse to the extent that we have decimated or delineated the ownership? That rather than say my car, it should be our car. Rather than say my home, it should be our home. And that if you start to brood on that line, you soon find out that it's about everybody, casting their lot or catching their gains. And before you know what is up, the ultimate goal of the reason for you guys being together would have been decimated. So in marriage, knowing that your spouse is committed to you no matter what, it just brings a deep sense of security. It allows you not just being vulnerable, but you can always share everything that you have together. And it removes any fear of abandonment because you are resolved and resolute within yourself that things will move on. So, I ask you, what do you think? What do you think? Is this making any sense? Someone says that commitment lasts. Wow. Okay. So yeah, commitment lasts, and it just gets us all going. Now, let me share another personal story. Whilst I experienced my financial difficulty at a particular time in my life, I call it my last $30. There was the need to always just want to be able to belong, right? By trying to support the family. But I was incapacitated because all I was expecting was not coming forth, right? Now, but there was just a resolution that I would stay true, irrespective of the fact that you might start to feel some levels of disdain, discouragement, what have you. But like you brace the odd now, and then you I will show up. So that's how I was able to overcome, and that's also how I keep overcoming challenges. So sometimes I wake up and I'm like, what am I still doing here? But I remember my commitment, I remember my resolution, and I'm saying, stay in and don't give up. So look, days where I used to think that love will carry the marriage through, those days are long gone. I realized that, I think we have a light problem. I realized that it was commitment. It was strictly commitment. There was nothing else. It was just commitment, that kept us going. And you see that there are different perspectives to this. There's a biblical perspective to this. I'm a Christian, and I'm not ashamed to say that. When I look into the Bible, I see things as central to this discussion in a relationship. There's a scripture that comes to mind every time I go on this discourse, either as a coaching client or I'm just discussing with brethren. Ephesians 5:25. Let me see if I can call that up. It says that. No, I think I can't find it. But anyway, Ephesians 5:25 says, "Husbands are to love their wives." So initially I wrestled with that because I didn't understand what that meant. So one part is supposed to love, the other part is supposed to be committed, right? But I soon realized that command to love meant that notwithstanding the onslaught, notwithstanding the rejection, notwithstanding anything that comes from the woman that responds emotionally, you must just love your wife. So irrespective of the bashing, irrespective of whatever is coming your way, just love your wife. The other thing I soon realized, beyond even the biblical perspective, is that true love is rooted in actions, not feelings. So, like, you just know that some can profess love, right? But what's the genuineness of love? It's sacrifice. So the man is going in, coming back home, going out, coming back home every day. He's sweating it, hoping that one day he's going to break it. He's going to break through. And that keeps him going, okay? And that is influenced by his commitment to his family, his love to his family, his love to his spouse. And so he keeps showing up. And no matter what life throws at him, it's just evident that he's able to go through, not as a result of the feelings, because clearly there will be sorry feelings, there will be sad feelings, all right? But he just knows that, look, he must go through. And this is what brings, it just brings a deeper sense of security, as earlier I liked it. Now, I say, look, in this VUCA world, so we're in a VUCA world. Someone might ask me, what's VUCA? VUCA means volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. In a world where we're in an era where things are not the way they used to be, we're in a post-truth era that is driven by emotions, there's something that is required that offers stability, and not other than commitment. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you just resolve that no matter what, I'm going to weather this storm, and that's what commitment does. It just gives you, emboldens you to be able to move in these volatile times. It's countercultural. Because the world is saying go the popular way, but you have resolved that, look, the statistics might be showing the numbers are growing as to the people that are getting out of this institution, but you are committed to a cause. All right, almost like I'm committed to the issues of the country, Nigeria. I'm committed to entrepreneurial development. I'm committed to personal development. I'm committed to a couple of things, okay? And this commitment, it just shows that I'm willing to sacrifice. In fact, that's what it is. Until you have come to that resolution, that love may spark a marriage, but commitment keeps it burning. Do you understand? Like, look, yes, it's good to have this love, this ephemeral feeling, butterflies in the stomach, but when push comes to shove, when you get down to the meat, you just find out that it's your resolution. So another word for commitment is resolution. And maybe that might just help bring some thoughts, offering marriages stability and security in a world that promises quick exits. People are always looking for things. The rate of change has increased, irrespective of whether things are changing or not. So what would be those practical steps? People will ask me, okay, yes, you are talking about commitment. How do I get to, stay committed, notwithstanding whatever I'm expressing in my marriage? And I can tell you, I don't know, but I have a lot of people talk about marriages like that's like the real perfect union. I can tell you that sometimes you get so sad, sometimes you get so weary, sometimes you get so fearful. But how do you strengthen your commitment? It could be one in terms of renewing your vows daily. And this is one of the things that I probably would also endure. Like I said, as I discuss my perspective on this matter, I'm also learning and unlearning a few things. So I'm saying it would help. There's a need to constantly renew your daily vows. When you say you want to renew your daily vows, it's almost like before you leave the house, you probably want to say a word of prayer. Okay? Before you leave the house, you probably want to speak or give a peck, tap, just prophesy something. There's no way you keep doing this. It's almost like watering a plant. If you make it consistent over time, make it habitual, everything you water, you expect it to grow. Okay, and just as you constantly invest in your relationship, you find out that it builds your level of commitment, security, and all of that, and you just get enamored to say, you know what, I will stay true. Another thing that is worth considering is, and it requires a deliberate understanding of how this works. It was Stephen Covey that talked about the emotional bank account, and I think that when we invest in each other, we soon find out that commitment is not passive. It isn't a passive thing. It's about investing. So how do you invest in your spouse? And as a man, in redefining your responsibility and your masculinity in these times, is to say, how am I investing? So sometimes you want to give counsel. Okay, so I'm a business strategist, right? And I'm an executive coach in some contexts. And I drive, strategy for organization. So now I have a spouse that is a career civil servant, and in between has maybe they call it a side hustle, right? But I'm invested in developing the side hustle, so I come up with insights and strategies, okay, and seeing how they can improve their process almost for free. There's some things I get to do for them, okay. So it makes me somewhat relevant in the scheme of whatever they're doing. That's the investment we're talking about. Find ways to nurture your relationship daily, through the tough times, okay, acts of service, okay, simply words. So some people are strong on words of affirmation, okay, so, but there's the act of service now. Doing something, it will get to a point where you do something in your vested interest, that no matter what, even if we're not your spouse, you find out that this thing called relationship is not your true investment. So, like Stephen Covey was talking about the emotional bank account, he says that draw less out of the emotional bank account. Keep adding to them, like invest in each other. And this is a call to men. No matter what is being thrown at you, right? Keep investing, right? Keep pouring yourself in. After all, that's part of your mandate to water the plant, hoping that somehow it will begin to have some root. Now, the third thing, you must seek commitment and you must seek grace. No matter how you want to look at it, we are constantly. And for me, there are errors of omission and commission. You probably don't even know what to do, how to do it. We constantly get into instances where we are lost as to what and how we have offended our contemporaries or our spouse. But once we're able to reflect over those situations and resolve within ourselves to the point where either we're disappointed or whatever, we must learn to start to constantly forgive ourselves, and in forgiving, I tell people, look, once you're able to forgive, you see that it just gives you grace. It helps you stay committed through imperfections. And someone might ask, how do you do that? It's like when there's a mistake, just resolve to be committed, offer forgiveness, and extend grace. It's a difficult thing. What I'm sharing with you is also something I've battled and struggled with at different times. Where, for instance, there's something we call the silent treatment. Okay, so your spouse and yourself, you are on a different level, and you decide that, well, I'm not talking to her, and she decides she's probably not talking to me, but somewhere, find the reason, revert back to the purpose, and then try to either seek forgiveness or forgive or give grace. So look, I don't know how well I want to help reiterate this to the point where you begin to understand that in the world that we're in today, the easiest thing to do is to walk away. Like, it's so funny. I'm wondering what will happen to the generation that is coming. I can't come and kill myself. That's the balance that, So even in the workplace, just like in marriages, right? People just want to walk away, So it's a resolve, a resolution within yourself. You must choose to stay committed to this enterprise, this partnership, this institution. And that's the real secret to longevity. If you want to have sustainability, if you want to scale, even in business, even in life, personally, even with your career, even with your academics, you must be committed. It's commitment. Commitment is the foundation upon which love is built, upon which trust is built, upon which happiness is built. It's that foundation. It's that one thing that will carry you through every storm. Your ability to stay true is indoor commitment against challenges and every stage of your life. So I implore you all to become, crusaders of commitment. Man, if you want to redefine your masculinity in this time, there's one secret that will keep you going. And that secret is none other than commitment. Commitment is a counter-cultural act in today's fast-paced world. Really, I'm telling you, look, stay committed. Just stay committed. Okay? So, what if, there's that one secret that was married together? Even though the most difficult times, we think that it could be trust, it could be communication, it could be love. But I tell you, love can be fleeting. There could be miscommunication, and we could betray each other's trust. So the call is that we should stay committed. So look, if you are joining us, this journey is on for the next, I think, 17 more days. What's your take on commitment in marriage? That's the question I'm asking you now. Just drop it in the comments if you can. Let's have your thoughts as to what is your take on commitment in marriage. Let's discuss in the comments. And please subscribe for more insights on building strong and committed relationships. If this has made any sense to you, tomorrow we're going to be throwing down on issues around social media. The Lord of the Air, the mystery behind this device. Yes. I've had a great time. I promise not to keep you beyond 30 minutes every other day, between 30 and 35 minutes. I think this is a good place to wrap up. If you have any comments, you probably just want to drop. Some guy is saying love is never enough. Someone says money. Yes, when we started on this journey, and let me quickly just re-emphasize, we started off with the 7 dimensions. And until you understand these 7 dimensions, it might just be difficult for you to take a grasp that is not the husband. So we said man is a protector. In this day and age, he safeguards physically, emotionally, and spiritually. We said man is a preserver. That's the husband. He holds the family values and nurtures righteousness. He's also a provider, but not just financial provider. There's the emotional and spiritual need. He's also a procreator. So he's not just having to impregnate you. No, he's able to nurture the children to the point where they become, people of value in society. Then he's a priest over his own. He's able to speak into the life of his family, his wife, his children, his businesses. He's able to speak. And he's also a partner. This is about partnership. what are we bringing together? So when you hear this thing about what you bring to the table, it's not about how good you are in bed, because hey, you can also get it anywhere. And it's not about the good food you cook, because you can get it in any restaurant. We are saying, what are we bringing towards the common purpose that we want to achieve? And that's it. That's what goes on. And then finally is the patriarch, and you are the matron. As soon as the man begins to understand that I'm king and my wife is queen, hey, we are on to something. So, ladies and gentlemen, the ladies that love them that are on this call, and for all the guys, I said, let's stay committed. Someone says this is revealing. If you find this very interesting, please share and equally also subscribe. There's a subscribe button, and we'll come on to you tomorrow, same time. I've had a great time, and I'm hoping that you stay committed all the way. And on this part, I'd like to say thank you for joining, and that real men provide not just for today but for eternity by leading their families in love, faith, and wisdom. On this note, I'll bring this to a close. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye. See you tomorrow.